Hello everyone, this is Menorchid, custom map maker for Onward. I've noticed that there's some particular problems that a lot of custom map makers that are having, the newer uh, people that haven't been around the block as much and might not know some of the tips and tricks and things that we've picked up. And maybe by having a video, I can help you guys quickly solve some of these issues so you don't have to deal with them and figure them out on your own. That said, I do want to say before we get into this that you need to be reading the custom map guide, and especially if you're brand new, you need to be looking at the guide that Snooperfax put out, the original one in 1.8. It goes over a lot of this stuff. It goes basically over most of what you need to know to make a map. My optimization guide is still all right. I should update that, but a lot of the things do stand true, things that you can use to improve the performance of your map. But anyways, let's jump into this. I have a few things I want to go over. First off, I want to go over the SRP Batcher. So you might have seen some people talk about this one and how you have that on. You go into play mode. You want to know the performance of your map. And you look at it and like, oh man, look at all these really, really high batches and what's going on? This doesn't make any sense. I don't understand why it's happening like this. And it's not how it actually is. This isn't actually what the performance of this map is. It's a bug with URP. SRP is their fancy dancy little batcher thing. It doesn't really help out from what I've noticed in other projects. But what it does do is it bugs the statistics window. So this isn't truly what we're seeing here, and it might actually affect the performance of your game. But really what we want to know is we want accurate stats here without having to use the frame debugger, which is a useful tool, by the way, and you should learn how to use that. Again, look at the documentation for Unity for how to use that one. But anyways, this, when we just want to know what the performance is, this isn't helpful. So the way you know that you're having the SRP issue is when you see a negative saved by batching number right here. Okay. And you also notice that your polys and your verts don't go up. They don't go down. They're just arbitrary number. It doesn't make any sense. And you can see here, like, that this is obviously wrong. So what we need to do is fix that. Now, all we have to do here is go to your project settings. Let me pull it in here. And we need to go to, no, it's not graphics. It's quality. No, it's not. Yeah, it's quality. Yep, there we go. All right. So in quality, we have this kind of weird graph right here. So what this is saying is on the Android build, because this is a Quest and a PC VR map, it's using medium level. And for the PC version, it's using high. So this is going to be important a little bit later. Okay. So what happens here is that we have SRP on. So this is probably as far as you've gotten on trying to fix this. So when you double click this, it'll highlight the universal render pipeline asset, which comes with Onward. This is what we need to be using. You can see it here. It's on the right for me in the inspector. We have to turn SRP Batcher off. Now, here's the tricky part. It might still not work for you. And the reason is because of this. So when you first get your project up and going, usually what you'll do is you'll assign that that universal render pipeline asset to one of these levels. So over here, it's on the medium. But on the high, you might see there's kind of like these default SRPs that come with Unity when you first install it. And they're going to be different because they're designed for high, medium, and low. So what you have to do is just assign this. You just drag this into here, boom. You drag this into here, boom. And anywhere you see a green check mark, because that's saying that that's what your level is set to, your quality settings. So now when we go into play, we can see here that it is the true stats. This is what we want to see. We want to see no negative batching. We want to see the correct number of polys. We want to see the correct number of verts. We want to be able to use this information to make our maps work how we want, get the performance levels that we need in order to create a good level. Okay, so that was the main one. Another one I've noticed, again, in the project settings, is people that when they load into the game, they have the same thing rendered on both eyes or whatever. You know, basically it's screwed up in that way. So for that, we need to go to player. Again, this is project settings, player. And then right down here at the bottom, just put the stereo rendering mode. Down here below here is to single pass instance. That should fix it for you. For the Android, you want to do single pass because it doesn't have single pass instance. I'm not exactly sure what the real difference is between single pass and single pass instance. Both seem to work because I think my other project on PC Varia is single pass. But either way, you just want single pass. You do not want multi-pass. And that should solve that issue for you. And one other little thing I wanted to talk about was in the quality settings as well. So if you're making a Quest map or a Quest compatible map, and you want to know for the LOD settings what is a correct distance, because just because you know in the editor here, you can see I have an LOD group here. Just because I pull it back here doesn't mean, and I can still see it, doesn't mean that someone on the Quest could still see this. They have something what's called LOD bias, and that kind of determines how strong the LOD effect is. So like a higher LOD or a lower LOD bias is going to start culling this sooner than if it had a higher LOD bias. Okay, so what we have to do is try to, you know, get the same settings more or less that the Quest has. So for the Quest, from what we've determined, what we want to do is in the quality settings, we want to turn LOD bias to 1.118. Okay, it's just right here. And then in the camera settings, right here, we want to put that field of view to 120. And that will allow us to get fairly close to what the culling is for the Quest. So from like right here, I should be able to see this on Quest. It's not going to be 100%. So again, always check your map. Always do the tests. Before you do an update, you should do a quick run through of your map. I will admit I've been lazy every now and again as I've done tons of updates. You know, I'm a veteran map maker. I know what I'm doing. I obviously can never make mistakes. I released an update without really testing. Someone falls to the floor or some other stupid bug, something I missed. And guys, you're always going to miss something. So do your best to try and catch as much as you can. That way, when you do miss something, it's not going to be something huge, like falling through the floor. Always some things to check, always things that get messed up. We all make mistakes, so we want to try and minimize that as much as possible. And when you're first putting out your map, your first, first draft of your map or whatever, or not your first draft, but your first published draft that you're sending in, hoping to get accepted into the workshop so everyone can play it. You're really excited. I totally get that. But if you release a broken map, even if it gets accepted, people are going to be really upset. They're going to not like your map because they fall through the floor, because they can see the enemy at their spawn. Maybe the spawns are reversed. And I'll be honest with you guys, the people that play Onward and the custom maps especially are not very forgiving. They will downvote your map, they will immediately delete it, and they won't really try it again. I mean, the first impressions are really, really important in this community. So I really, really suggest that you put a lot of effort into creating a wonderful map that you're really proud of from the first draft, and you know, gives people what they want to play, and they'll be really excited to play it. They'll say really nice things. They'll continue to play it, and you know, by playing it, they're gonna find those little bugs or issues that you miss. Because as a one-man band, we're gonna miss stuff, guys. But there's a huge difference there between small issues and larger ones. I mean, like things like performance. If someone jumps in the map and they're getting, sorry, and they're getting terrible FPS, especially on the quest, it just shows that you didn't put the effort in. So try to do your best, guys, to do the testing required in order to create a good map. I hope this helped you guys out. If there's anything else you have questions about, I don't want to necessarily answer every tiny little question. Things that are in the guide specifically are in the guide or in Snoopers videos, but there are some subjects that are a little bit confusing, and could bear, you know, having a video on. Just let me know. Have a good one.